Hello everyone, and welcome back. This is part 2 of what we were discussing yesterday about prevention and about decision making. Now, just to recap real quick, remember, we said that prevention is defined in Webster's dictionary is the action of stopping something from happening or arising. Now, what we're talking about is the decisions that we make. Every decision that we make shapes our tomorrow. It shapes the next moment of our lives. It shapes tomorrow of our lives. It shapes next month, next week, and our futures. So it's very important on the decisions that we make, and it's more important on how we make those decisions. Now, just to recap again, we said that the decision-making process, it looks something like this. You have your situations and circumstances. The information that we inject into our situation and circumstances is going to cause us to render a decision. The most important thing about the decision-making process is this information that we're putting in there. We have to challenge our information, and that's what we're going to pick up today. Where do we get our information from? I put all of this Army fatigues on today for a reason, because this is a battle. It's a mental battle in decision making. We can choose to do this, some of the things that feel good to us, some of the things that we think helps us to relieve pressure or relieve some of the stress, but we know they're not good for us, or we can choose to do the right thing, things that are going to be healthy for us, but they may be a little hard for us to do. So, I'm going to take off my hat here for a minute. It's never polite for a guy to wear his hat inside of a building. So, here we are. Decision making. Where does this information come from that we make our decisions from? Well, most of it comes from when we're raised. However, our parents, whatever their morals are, whatever their values are, they instill those into us as children, and then we start to march our way through life. And as we go through life, well, we pick up some of our own opinions and make our own decisions about certain things. Well, if you're going to have a better life, you have to make better decisions. Now, we're talking about this as it pertains to prevention. How do I prevent myself from falling into alcoholism? Or if I've been an alcoholic, how can I prevent myself from falling back into that? If I've been a drug addict, how do I stop myself from returning back to that lifestyle again? Or maybe you're just a worrywart. How do I stop myself from worrying and having these panic attacks and having it all deals with the information that we have in our heads and how we apply that to whatever situation and circumstance that we're faced with. Challenging that information is one of the hardest things that we'll ever do in our lives. You know why? Because we get like this. We take that soldier stance. This is what I believe in, and this is what I'm going to do. And most of the time, we don't stay open to other sources of information, take them in and process them and see if, hey, you know what? Maybe I'm wrong about this. There was a story I remember about this lady who used to make her Thanksgiving turkey, and every time she made the turkey, she always cut the legs off and put it in the pot, cooked it, served it to the family. So one day, her daughter asked her, she says, "Mom, why do our Thanksgiving turkeys never have legs on them?" And she says, "Well, that's the way my mother always did it." So she said, well, let me ask Grandma. So she went back and she asked Grandma. She said, "Grandma, how come you always taught Mom to cut the legs off of the turkey before you cooked it and served it to us?" Oh, she said, "Well, honey, I had to do that because the pot that we had back then was so small, you couldn't fit the turkey in with the legs. So I had to cut it off." See, the mother took her information from her mother, who was doing something out of necessity, But she thought that that was the way to do it, so that's how she marched through life. Does that make sense? What we have to do is take time, slow down, and start to think about the things that we're doing and why we're doing them. Listen, change is difficult, and people usually don't like to change because there's work involved in it. Remember what prevention is? It's the action of stopping something from happening or arising. Because it says it's the action, that means that you have to do something. Now, if you want to make your life better, that's a decision. But it's a decision that causes you to go into action. If you're not willing to go into action and you're not willing to participate in the betterment of your own life, if you're not willing to invest into yourself, listen, we invest into all kinds of things. You know, we invest into a nice bed, we invest in furniture, we invest in shoes that we wear, we invest in all of these things to make us look good. But how are you looking on the inside? How much have you invested into yourself and your future? Because listen, it's not just about you. It's about your kids. They see how you handle stress. So guess what? They usually go off and do the same thing. If you have a guy that's an abuser of his wife, when his children see that, especially if he has a son, his son will usually come off into that because that's what he saw. Maybe he's appalled that you're hitting his mother, but guess what? When he's faced with the decision and he's faced with the confrontation with the female in his life, man, he's more prone to hit her because he saw his father a hitter. We have to be willing to sit down, take time, think about what we're doing and why we're doing it. Why did I make that decision? Okay, remember we said this? The 60-second rule. Okay, here's the bills. Listen, it's inevitable. You know bills are going to come. It's inevitable. And when they do come, how am I going to handle that? How am I going to handle it? Do I handle it the way that I usually do? Oh man, some people just take and rip bills up and throw them in the trash like they're just going to disappear. Man, it's a bad decision. That's not a good choice because it's going to come back. We have to think about, okay, now that that's getting ready to come, preparation is one of the biggest things in prevention, preparing. When I got ready to do this segment today, I said, you know what? This is a battle. So you know how I prepared? Man, I got myself together mentally. I wouldn't put on my BDUs from when I was in the military. And I said, you know what? This is how I'm going at it today. Preparation. Preparation is going to make the difference in your day. When you get up in the morning, if you tell yourself mentally, oh man, it's another COVID day, we're not going to be able to do, if that's how you prepare yourself mentally, guess what? You're going to go through your day just like this. Oh man, it's another COVID day. You're not going to be productive. And guess what? You're going to very easily fall into some of those old bad habits. Smoking, drinking, and drugging, and just doing all kinds of other things. And listen, there's a whole nother set of circumstances that we're facing right now. The kids are out of school, okay? My grandson's 6 years old. And he's driving everybody nuts because he can't go to school. He's just in the house and he's just there and he's just doing his thing. And if your kids are anything like my grandson, well, they're just going to do stuff. They don't really know what they're going to do. I'm just going to do something. I want to sit on the couch. I want to crawl under the couch. I'm just going to do something. And that's what they do. And it drives people nuts because now you're out of work, so you have to be at home. He's out of school, or they're out of school, they have to be home, and guess what? They want mommy and daddy to be the entertainment. And you're like, listen, I've got these bills, this COVID thing is going crazy, I don't know about my unemployment, so you've got all that stuff. That's a whole nother dynamic now playing into the picture, which leads people, that's why the lines at the liquor store have been so long. Because people are not choosing to think about what you're doing or investing into their own futures. Take some time. Think about what you're doing. Really invest into you and stop. Take that 60-second rule. When something occurs, you're faced with something, man, I'm stressed out. I feel like I just need a drink. I feel like, just stop. Take 60 seconds. Let all of that heat and all of that pressure and all of that stress, let it subside. Let it come down. And then after that 60 seconds, when you look around and you look at your situation, it's not going to look half as terrible as it did. And then you get into, how am I going to handle this situation? Normally I'd scream, but hey, I don't think that's good. What else can I do? We're going to be back here tomorrow, and we're going to talk about our mental options board. Mental options board. The mental options board is nothing more than this. You will only do or not do what's on that options board. If it's not an option for you, you won't do it. If it is an option for you, even though you may not be practicing it right now, the opportunity in life will come up. Some stressful situation, some argument, something will come up, and it'll cause you to use one of those options. That's what we're going to talk about. Hey, you stay safe. Make sure that you keep sanitizing. Wear those masks when you're out in public. Make sure that you have gloves on. Keep me safe. Keep your family safe. Keep yourself safe. And we'll see you tomorrow. You take care. I'm Fred Williams, and we love you.